Welcome everybody to the Superhumanistic Podcast, where we talk about all things health and wellness. Thank you for joining us this week. We are your hosts, David and Jessica. Make sure you follow Superhumanistic on everything. Hit this follow button on the podcast so you never miss another episode, and share this podcast with anybody that you think might need some more health and wellness in their life. So last week we talked about body weight workouts, so range of motion, time under tension, and calisthenics, which workouts you can do using your body weight so that you don't need to be at a gym and you can really do them anywhere. These are great for convenience, but also can be all very strenuous as well, and a great way to get started. Also, if you're a beginner and looking to transition into the gym. So go back and listen to that episode if you'd like to learn more about how to use your own body weight to do workouts. This week, we are going to be talking about brain food. So what kind of foods can you eat to make sure that you are feeding your brain? This is super important because the brain is a very complex, energy-hungry organ, and it actually uses about 20% of the body's energy. And just like any machine, it needs the right type of fuel. So it's very important that, like the rest of your body, that you are feeding your brain, because it also has very specific set of needs when it comes to the nutrients. And that's what you're going to get into, is talking about the different type of foods, what nutrients they provide, and then we'll take it from there to talk more about what happens if you don't feed your brain and what those consequences are.
So some of the foods that you should look to eat to start feeding the brain, and just your body overall, but most importantly the brain, is the fatty fish. So looking for like salmon. Salmon, of course, is higher in those omega-3 fatty acids, and that's going to help lower that risk of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Another really great food to include in your diet would be berries. So anything with the end of berries, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, berries in general are important to include in our diet because they're high in those antioxidants and flavonoids, which help to reduce inflammation and oxidative stress that happens over time naturally in our brain. So it helps to reduce that stress in the brain, and it stimulates blood and oxygen flow to the brain, which is going to help it function better as well. Nuts are really good to include into your diet if you haven't already. So walnuts, almonds, peanuts, hazelnuts are just a few that are really good. They have high omega-3 fatty acids as well as antioxidants that help prevent dementia in the brain too. Almonds and hazelnuts in particular also have a high vitamin E content. So vitamin E is another really important antioxidant that prevents dementia from happening in the brain. Eggs are really good in general, but for the brain, they offer that high protein, and they have vitamin D, which of course improves our bone health and also our immune system. So if we're improving the health of the rest of our body, then our brains kind of get a break from having to kind of be overused and helping the body stay healthy as well. Egg yolk. So the yolk of an egg is also high in the choline, and choline has been proven to improve our memory. So eating choline or having choline does improve our memory. Dark chocolate. So we did an episode on dark chocolate in the past. We know dark chocolate contains, and it has to be you're looking for the 80%, like really high percent of cocoa in the chocolate in order for it to actually have those benefits. So it's not those sugary milk chocolates that we love to eat during Christmas time or any holiday, but those really dark, rich chocolates. It contains a lot of flavonoids, which improves blood flow again to our brain, and boosts our working memories. We're able to remember things on the spot, right? So that working memory is things that happen immediately throughout the day that you're able to remember, which is important for the long-term memory too, because if your working memory is really strong, then you're gonna prevent that dementia and Alzheimer's, so your long-term memory will also increase. And it helps with problem solving. So problem solving skills, having those flavonoids helps you to be able to make more better decisions throughout your day. I know at work, if I feel like I'm starting to get, like my energy is starting to go lower, I will have a piece of dark chocolate, and it does boost my energy, and it gives me like the ability to go and have a better afternoon, because now my working memory in my brain is stronger. And then avocados are again another really important high health in the healthy unsaturated fats that we need. So it reduces our blood pressure, helping the blood to flow to our brain, and prevents cognitive decline as well. So those are just some of the foods that you can eat to help improve our brain function. I know my husband has a few others.
That goes back to what we've been preaching here.
Yes.
Well-balanced diet, variety in diet, staying away from those ultra-processed foods. It all comes back to that root of making sure you have a well-balanced diet of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and all those different things. And then from there, you can always kind of focus on something and including other nutrients that you feel you might need. For example, once a week, I eat a can of sardines just to make sure that I'm getting those omega-3s and getting enough in my diet. But overall, we eat a well-balanced diet with lean proteins such as fish and poultry and other things like that, and a diet very high in vegetables and fruits as well, complex carbohydrates. So all those things are so important, guys. So make sure you are going back and listening to some of those episodes about feeding your microbiome as well, which is also known as your second brain.
Yeah.
So what happens if you're not getting the right nutrients for your brain? We all know that poor diet can lead to fatigue and weight gain and those type of things, but not feeding your brain will have many serious consequences down the line, such as cognitive decline. One of the biggest risks of poor nutrition is cognitive decline, because the brain needs those antioxidants to fight oxidative stress, as you were mentioning earlier. And without them, your brain will start to degenerate. You could experience diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Those type of things increase because studies have shown that people who eat a diet high in those processed foods, sugar, and unhealthy fats are more likely to experience memory problems and cognitive decline as they age. Mood disturbances. If you're not getting enough B vitamins or omega-3 fatty acids, it can affect your mood. Low levels of these nutrients are linked to increased risk of depression and anxiety. So the brain relies on the proper functioning of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine to regulate your mood. So without getting enough nutrients, your signals will get disrupted. So reduce focus and productivity. You ever feel foggy or like you can't concentrate while you're at work? This could be due to blood sugar imbalances or insufficient nutrient intake, because your brain needs a steady flow of these energies to maintain focus. And without the right kind of fuel, you may find yourself distracted, fatigued, or unable to perform at your best. So that's very important for work. Poor memory. Nutrient deficiencies can also impair memory. So without enough antioxidants to protect the brain or omega-3s to support cognitive function, your ability to recall information or retain new knowledge may decline. So very important to feed your brain. I'm sure, as everybody knows, it's one of the most important organs, if not the most important, that keeps everything else functioning. So make sure that you're getting that well-balanced diet and a lot of the foods that my wife mentioned here earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
So that is what we had for you when it comes to brain food. Make sure you follow Superhumanistic on everything. Hit that follow button on this podcast and share this podcast with somebody in your life that could benefit from it. Go out and start implementing some of these tips into your lifestyle so that you can become more superhumanistic. We'll see you next time.
Bye.